Hello, my friend, and welcome back to the Video Editing Podcast, the podcast where you and I have a conversation about how you can become a better video editor so that you can work with your dream client sooner. And if you listened to the last episode, you'll know exactly what this episode is about. Today, we are talking or carrying on our conversation with David Gesslbauer, a Berlin-based commercial video editor who I admire. We talk about some of the techniques that he uses, and he works with some major clients, and we talk about his commercial for Porsche. So we talk about effects and transitions and where they should live in your work. Hopefully you take something away from this and it opens your eyes up to a new style of editing. If you like to look at any of the references that we speak about, I'll put a link in the show notes to the specific commercials that we are talking about. Okay, enjoy. I saw today the Porsche commercial that you cut recently. There's a stylistic approach of fast cuts, reflections, and it feels like perhaps to the untrained eye, like they're effects.
You mean like all this flashy stuff, or the lines?
Stuff. Yeah. There's short shots that look like they're mirrored, and it creates a sense of chaos, as the car is revving up, and fast cuts, and this, which has a sense, a feeling like they could be plugins or effects or transitions.
But
to me, it appears as if they're not. They are shots cut together in quick succession with careful thought into how these shots flow from one to the next.
That's correct. I'm much of a fan, doing most of the stuff, with what's there in the material, because this gives you room and joy in experimentation. Although I do a lot of After Effects stuff and here and there, using a plugin if it's like a shake or so, but if you look at every frame of the footage you got, you find some pearls. And this particular thing, props goes out to the DOP, Ollie Miller, who, by the way, shot Blinding Lights video by The Weeknd.
Amazing.
So he really knows his stuff, and the footage was just great. And this little flashy things, this was just him, doing low frame rate, I guess, and just pulling around the corner. They had this LED stripe on the side of the street, and he was just going crazy with it. And I was like, "There's so many good stuff in there."
Yeah, great. I can imagine it's the kind of footage that perhaps someone with not much experience would look at it and go, "What the hell do I do with this?"
Even back in the days of the club footage or the after show videos, when there's something flashy going on happening, it doesn't matter that the what's being shown is somehow making sense, but what does it make it feel like? Is it chaos that you want, or disruption? And so anything is possible if it's just a slight light moving from left to right, and if it gives you a push, then I would use it.
Yeah, I think certainly when I was starting out, I would look at footage and I'd look for the most polished stuff to put to use. That looks good. That shot is steady. I'll keep that. And if I was putting a timeline of selects together, it would always be the most polished shots. But the more
absolutely,
yeah. Did you find the same?
I still do it, of course. First round of selects is just really just cutting off the trash, and then find the most polished pieces, as you said, but still keeping all the rough things.
I think those rough ones are they're almost like the diamonds, you know, the uncut gems,
Hmm.
because
See
there's
what you did there.
moments. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, those moments are the moments that you can pull in when you're trying to elicit emotion. And I think it took me a long time to realize that what you're seeing is not necessarily what you want to show. It's what you're
Hmm.
feeling
Hmm.
is what you want to communicate. And so if there's a moment
That's
in the
good. Yeah.
footage where it's a bit shaky and it gives you a sense of chaos,
Yeah.
then that's going to come through when you put it in the cut. And even if
Yeah.
you can't tell what it is,
Mm.
then it gives the viewer that emotion. And yeah, when it's cut together in great succession as you do, then it flows and it gives you this incredible sense of movement and chaos. If that's the
Hmm.
emotion that you're trying to communicate, it feels like there's a lot of weight
What's that word?
given
I
to
don't know.
plugins and effects and transitions and this sort of thing in modern editing. And I think it's a result of, you know, social media and TikTok and everything
Hmm.
else communicating this as editing when
Hmm. I know
putting,
what you mean. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I also get these ads for like, 20 Premiere transition packs,
Mhm.
or glitch overlays. And, I think I blame the music videos, from all the rappers that are just, trying to do as much effects as possible. And if not every cut just rotates or scales up or changes in color, then it's not editing.
Mhm.
So I think that's the sense right now. But of course it's bull. But I get where they're going for, or what they're
Oh,
going for.
yeah, of course.
And I also enjoy it. Many of the good stuff, but I try to stay away from plugins
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
consistent as possible.
I feel the same way. I feel like plugins have their time and they have their purpose, but only if the footage can't tell the story well enough. And I
That's
think
right. Yeah.
it's the story should be the thing that comes first, and then the plugins and effects, the last thought, the cherry on the cake, if you will, should if the
Mm.
story isn't strong enough. But it seems to be that everybody shilling transition packs and effects and plugins, doing it the other way around, where the effects are the editing and they
Yeah.
replace the story. And
Yeah. I mean, okay, but look at Brother. Brother.
yes,
Um, their whole style is built on just effects on top. Um, and their effects replace the concept, but they do it magnificent. That
yeah,
it's a feast to look at.
yeah,
Even that that the base footage might not be the best, but what they make out of it is
mhm,
just really creative and
yeah,
still flows. If you don't have a story, then at least you need to have a flow. Um,
yeah,
and this is exceptionally well done.
yeah. You're right. There is uh, fashion films and the fashion world. I think is its own beast. And I
Mm,
think is most definitely the biggest exception to the rule, because it's the primary purpose of fashion films and fashion content is essentially a moving still.
hmm.
Each of them is shot. Most of these films are shot by stills photographers who fashion photographers who've moved into the video world, and their primary focus is the clothes. And I think because of that, because the primary purpose are these inanimate objects and not the character or the narrative, I think that's why that world leads itself really well to these sort of um, the graphical representations, the
Hmm.
use of graphics to keep the viewer engaged. Because if you're looking at a boot or a dress, there's only so much you're willing so much time you're willing to look at that shot before you need to switch it up a bit or create some kind of engagement.
Yeah, I did a lot of fashion stuff as well, and it's exactly like you said. Even carving out some angles that you haven't used is also a kind of a challenge, and so you need to get creative.
In conclusion, would you say effects, plugins, transitions, where on what occasions are they good and what occasions are they bad?
They're bad if they're trying to hide that you don't know how to cut, or something. Every cut works if you do a rotation zoom transition on it. You can literally cut any picture together and it will somehow fit. But as I say, you need to know the rules to know how to break them. And I think at a certain point, they can be quite a creative tool. But I wouldn't suggest that you start with all the stuff and try to create the sense that you're trying to emulate with the plugins, with the footage you got, with just a hard cut, and then make it as a cherry on top. But don't make the whole concept being spinny, glitchy.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
No, I wanted to talk to you about effects because it's something that I feel is something that's like a almost like a easy way in for so many people, and it's quite a contentious issue in my opinion, because people seem to rely so heavily on it and forget the rest, and what I consider the most important things, which are storytelling and shot choice. And
you first have to know what is a good shot, and you just only know this with experiencing. I can tell you why I feel certain shots are good, but maybe because I did it for 10 years, I've seen quite a lot of shots, and somehow something sticks out. And I think you first have to get a conscious for it, what works, and then even go away from it or change the shot up, just because something in the whole or in the puzzle that you're working on just works better with another shot. But I think you first have to get conscious about what works.
Yeah, and that's why every editor cuts differently. You give every editor the same footage. No two will be the same. They bring their own references to everything they cut, and their own choices for which part of which raw footage they chose and why they put it there. And it's infinite. There are infinite possibilities, and there are infinite
that's the beauty of it.
To pull from.
That's right. It could be a movie that you've seen, or some stuff pick that you watched, and you subconsciously picked something up there, and trying to emulate it without even noticing. But in order to do that, you just need to consume and produce a hive mind in your own mind.
Yeah, and there's no way that I don't know if you're the same, but there's no way that I could pluck any reference from everything I've seen and go, that's why I do that in my edits. I don't think there's anything I can pull from.
Yeah. But it was beautiful when I posted the Porsche commercial. So there's a scene where he's in the car and screaming and all is flashing, and then he splits in two. And someone wrote me that he found it was so cool that I pulled this from Lost Highway, from the ending scene. And I was like, oh God, yeah, it's right. That's just like the ending scene in Lost Highway, and it's one of my favorite Lynch movies. But I did not
Okay.
thought about it at any given time.
Yeah.
But um,
Yeah.
of
I,
course, it's there.
I
Yeah.
haven't seen it, so I'll check it out
Okay. Yeah,
and
it's a
catch the
good one.
reference.
It's not like that I see footage and think of, this is like the Vimeo video I've seen a week ago. Let's just try to pull it together like this. It's never like that, but it helps that it's in the back of my mind, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that you're looking to make more headway into features. Is there anything in particular within features that your heart desires?
hmm Doing an Edgar Wright movie.
Okay, that would be amazing.
Yeah. I don't think it's gonna happen, but this would just be the dream.
Okay.
Because if you look at how he edits or how he utilized the edit to tell jokes,
Yeah.
just through editing, and all this quick, highly dynamic, so in tune with the music, it's just gorgeous.
Yeah.
Baby Driver, Scott Pilgrim.
Mm-hmm.
It must be as good as it gets.
Yeah. And do you have a plan to achieve that?
Everything before at this point was also just, me going with the flow. I didn't put too much planning into it, but I feel like now I should be a little more, because I'm now at the point of my career where I can, finally make a decision to so what road I want to go to,
Yes.
the most. And so I tried everything, and now it's time, to just focus on one path. And but still, I love doing commercials and short stuff and music videos and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm trying to pursue now the long format. Yeah.
Yeah. There's definitely something therapeutic I like about short form content.
Mm-hmm.
Starting a project and finishing it within a week or two.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's something for me to do with my frame of mind, or just being able to go, okay, done, bye, next. And
Yeah.
compartmentalize everything rather than laboring something over so long and prolonging the stress.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. And overthink it.
Yeah.
That's also happened with the feature. You're working on a scene for a week, and then you go back to the first cut because you overthought it. And if I only got a certain time frame for the scene, then I just went with my gut feeling, and not just try to make it better when there was nothing to do.
Yeah. Do you have one time saver or a shortcut or something that is your go-to, that it saves you the most time or gives you the most most efficiency in your editing process?
Okay, let me show you my keyboard. So here's the S key, and it's super damaged because I press S at every given second, almost. Because my shortcut there is move playhead to cursor.
Oh, okay.
That thing changed my life, man.
Oh, nice.
Because I'm working with a trackpad instead of a mouse.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just put my cursor where I want my playhead, and I have it on S. And I'm just like
okay, nice.
Jumping back and forth.
Bringing the playhead to the mouse cursor allows you to preview footage very quickly, but I presume you also add cuts to the footage using that very quickly.
Yeah.
What other advantages does bringing the playhead to that point bring you?
Yeah, you also got this play around shortcut, with command.
Okay.
But I don't do that. I just, go let my cursor go there where I want it and hit S and play. And
it's Command Shift K. Play around.
I don't know.
So you work in Premiere at the moment?
Yeah.
And you used to cut in Avid?
So I had to learn Avid in film school, but I quickly realized it's not for me. It's not. I feel like, and I have so many Avid friends that disagree with me, but I feel like I have to do 3 steps to do something that I can do in one in Premiere. Mm-hmm. It just felt like this, but we also at film school, did analog editing, really on the Steam bag, with film material and cut it together. And Avid is more, trying to emulate that kind of editing, but Premiere is just like drag and drop based, and I just feel more home. Mm-hmm. Yeah, in Premiere.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Premiere for me, I started in Final Cut Pro 7.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
and so it's a logical, logical step.
Yeah, and I jumped into Avid, and I've cut a couple of things in Avid, but I just found it clunky, cumbersome, and slow.
Yeah. And I feel like the UI just looks like it's straight out of the 90s. I can't help myself.
It does. Yeah. It doesn't bring
I'm sorry,
joy.
Avid guys. No.
No, we love you and respect
Avid,
you.
Cutting in Avid feels like work.
Yeah.
And in Premiere, it's fun.
Yeah, that.
Until it isn't.
That meme where maybe I'll drop this on the meme page. The meme where the minimalist lady, and she's going, "This sparks joy. This does not spark joy." That's like the two interfaces for me.
Yeah, I was so amused by your NLE battle, and you even showed it that you hit randomizer, but it was first round Avid versus Premiere.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh, this is not going good, because when Avid is out of the questions, then the purists, they will come and strike you down. You should know your place.
I know. So many people said, it shouldn't be random, and it should be Premiere versus Avid in the final. But I feel like that isn't it obvious? What's the point in the battle if we know the final is Premiere versus Avid?
Yeah. What was doing Blender in there?
Personally,
because then
I didn't consider it an NLE, but it was voted for. And did surprisingly well. I was really surprised by how far it got.
Yeah, but I also voted for Blender, but just because of the meme.
It was meme worthy, but I expected Windows Movie Maker to do better for the meme value, but it didn't.
Yeah, that's right.
I think next year we'll do categories. We'll do, pro and prosumer, and then apps.
Okay, I see.
Yeah. Maybe there'll be a category for motion graphics, but I don't know. We'll see. It's been good to get to know you, your process, and your journey to getting to where you are now. Congratulations.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, keep up the great work, because I really love everything that you're posting.
Yeah, because I only post what I also think it's good.
Thank you so much, David. So in conclusion, I think what we could really say is there's a certain hierarchy, a certain level of client, like Porsche, that expects a certain style, a certain elegance to the commercials that they make. And using effects and transitions cheapens the editing a bit, and it's not really something that the higher end of clients is going to appreciate. So that's definitely something to consider moving forward as you start to progress your editing style. If you would like to have video editing tips every week instead of every 2 weeks, then head to unsplice.com and sign up for the newsletter, and you'll get a new tip straight in your inbox every week. If you have a question that you'd like answered on the podcast, then why not head to unsplice.com/ask and submit your question. And then hopefully we can get you on the podcast and answer it live. Thank you so much for listening, and I look forward to speaking to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.